North London. Well, it's not yellow, but it is red. Arsenal come out on top, beating Tottenham Hotspur 3-1. What a result. We end Tottenham's unbeaten run in dramatic fashion. It's a game that had everything. Had red cards, penalties, Tottenham scoring, Arsenal scoring, and of course the boys come away with a victory and a massive, massive test passed with flying colours for the majority, the vast majority, if not all of the squad. As always, I'm Why Football talking through all the Arsenal match reactions, and we're here to deliver the big one. Arsenal beating Tottenham on North London Derby Day. In terms of how the game started, I think everyone on planet Earth that's watched Arsenal and watched Tottenham would think the game started how it did. Arsenal were on top, being the aggressive team, being the possession-based football, because Arsenal, first things first, are a football team. I came here the other day and said Arsenal is the second best football team behind Man City in this league. I'm not saying we're the second best team in terms of Liverpool exists, Chelsea exists, but in terms of playing football, we are the second best team on form right now, and we came out flying. Beautiful football out the gates, plays linking up, interchanging. That team out there that started was my first 11. There's not a single player that I would not have in that team or swap in for someone else. It was the best squad we could have put out. And then we get our goal. A lot of extra pressure, and it finally came. Spurs sitting back, playing negative football as they always do, man. Camped in their own box trying to play counter-attacking football. It comes out to Saka, they double him up, he plays Ben White, one more over to Partey at the edge of the box, no one near him, the whole of the sea departed, and he whipped it in his right foot, right in the top corner, no chance for Hugo Lloris, and that was 1-0 to the boys, 1-0 to Arsenal, and well deserved after the start that we made in comparison to Tottenham, who were literally just sitting back and saying, come attack us, we'll soak and try and pounce, and that was beautiful. It was a good win for football as well as for Arsenal in that sense, because I like to see teams playing that expansive, positive football rather than trying to soak up pressure like those negative counter-attacking teams. And yeah, that was a shell shock for Tottenham, because although they are a very good defensive team, you never want to go 1-0 down if you're a counter-attacking team, because you don't want to have the impotence on you to play football, because Tottenham are not a football team. I'm sorry, they're not. We saw it. Whenever Tottenham actually tried to play football, nothing occurred from it. Nothing happened. When they're being asked to pass more than 6 times, it breaks down. They're at 6s and 7s. They can do maybe 1, 2, 3 direct passes, but as soon as they're asked to play possession football, trying to unlock a team, it's a long day for them, man. They live and die on the counter-attack. That's all they are, a great counter-attacking team. And they did get their goal from a counter-attack. Bit of a mix-up in midfield. The ball goes forwards. Ramsdale comes charging out of his goal, misses it. Richarlison goes round the keeper, hooks it back in the box. It's cleared away. And then comes to Xhaka, who actually tries to hook it away, and he makes a mess of that one. Falls to Richarlison, and Gabriel just completely wipes him out, goes to ground. I don't know what he's doing, man. Gabriel, why? Why can't you just keep your head like your partner Saliba, man? He just can't keep his head and completely throws it away for us. And that gave Kane a penalty. And we know that's a foregone conclusion that that geezer is banging it into the back of the net to make it 1-1. And then at that point, Arsenal just completely lost their edge. And I was going thinking we need the halftime whistle, because after it was 1-1, Tottenham stepped up a gear. They had a newfound confidence. And to be fair, we weren't really hanging on, but we definitely need the halftime whistle, because a lot of our players were shell-shocked at that point. And coming out of halftime, I was thinking, look, it's 1-1. We had the whole of the first 30 minutes. And as soon as Spurs scored, they had the last 15. So if they carry on that momentum, it could be a long day for us. But fortunately, we get a goal right out the traps. Hugo Lloris, Butterfingers Lloris, completely spills it from a Saka shot, and then it falls straight to Gabriel Jesus' feet. He says, thank you very much, prods it into the back of the net to make it 2-1 to Arsenal, and that was beautiful. At that point, I didn't even celebrate, go mad, because I know last time we scored to make it 1-0, Tottenham made it back at 1-1. So I was thinking, you know what? Keep it resolute, boys. Don't lose our heads. We're still in this match, and we've got the lead now, so now we have to reserve that. And then, out of nowhere, it was literally a nothing play. Emerson commits foul of the century. Just completely studs Martinelli in his ankle area. It's a horrible challenge. It's a red card every day of the week. I said before the game, I said Martinelli on Emerson, that should be illegal. That's such a mismatch. Emerson cannot defend for his life. And Martinelli had him on ropes, had him on strings the whole football match. And Emerson could not hack it mentally, because that was a red card. That's a red card in football. That's a red card in rugby, NFL. It's a red card in UFC for all I care, man. That was a disgusting challenge from Emerson. One that could have kept Martinelli out for the whole season. Fortunately, it didn't, because that guy is built from different gravy, man. He's just an absolute warrior, Martinelli. He came back on the pitch, no matter that tackle. But at that point, you knew, look, if we get another one to make it 3-1, this game's over. And did we? Granit Xhaka, man, the guy's been revolutionised. I made a video on how he's turned his career around at Arsenal not too long ago, and this epitomised it. Beautiful play from Partey, in between lines from Martinelli, runs forward, Xhaka takes off his toes, open net basically, slides it past Lloris into the bottom corner to make it 3-1, and that's all she wrote. I was gunning us on to make it 4-5 to demoralise them, but at the end of the day, we pulled the handbrake up and called it at the end of the day and said, you know what, we're just going to win this game 3-1, take our points, go back to the top of the league, 4 points clear of Tottenham, 4 points clear of Manchester City until I play United tomorrow, and that's all she wrote. Beautiful game on our behalf and a big test pass for this Arsenal football team, and I loved every single part of it. Every game this season, I cannot say we've had one bad performance. Yeah, we lost to United, but I don't think that was a bad performance. That was just we made a couple of key mistakes in key areas and got exposed. Every performance we've had this season, I can confidently say we've played well, and I've been delighted with how we played. Back to front, honourable mentions to a couple players here. Number 1, William Saliba. Unbelievable today. When I get into my player ratings, I'm gonna give him a high rating because this kid was so good today, man. So good. Composed on the ball, did his primary job as defending, only made one error and got a yellow card for it, but it was towards the end of the game, didn't really mean much. But other than that, he read everything. Harry Kane was going on to Gabriel. He did not want any bit of William Saliba whatsoever. That guy's a young stallion at the back. Unbelievable from William Saliba. Next door to him, Gabriel wasn't the best player, I'm not going to lie to you. But the other player I'm going to give an honourable mention to is Granit Xhaka. Today, unbelievable. Him and Saliba, man, the matches for me. Workhorse, back to front, man. He's a transition player. He's still getting forward, making stuff happen. He's strong as well. This Arsenal team's got a lot of physicality, and Granit Xhaka epitomised it today. Unbelievable performance from him as well. Let's get into the play ratings. Aaron Ramsdale, to be honest, I'm going to give him an 8. Apart from a Richarlison shot in the very first start of the game, that may have been offside anyway, he didn't do anything. The penalty, it's a Harry Kane penalty. There's not much you can do. It wasn't Harry Kane's best penalty. Right, went in the centre of the net, but not much you can do. 8 for Ramsdale. Composed on the ball as well. Right back, Ben White. Brilliant game from him as well. Delighted, 8 out of 10. William Saliba, 9.5 out of 10. I don't like giving 10s, but 9.5 out of 10. William Saliba, unbelievable. Unbelievable, Jeff. It is the best performance I've seen him in an Arsenal shirt. Definitely for me. Just for the fact that it's a derby. Young player, born in 2000. That in the 2000s. So he's not even an old player, he's an inexperienced player, but he showed the experience, 35-year-old type performance there. An absolute rock, read everything at the back. Gabriel, he's going to be the lowest rated in the Arsenal squad. I'm going to give him a 6. Why he's going to the ground and almost costing us the game, I have no idea. That was a Xhaka-esque tackle, but it didn't cost us a game, and he picked himself up after it. So I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10, but really that was disgraceful what he did there because it could have cost us. Left back Zinchenko, 7 out of 10. Also, very astute of himself. Didn't go as forward as we've seen him in previous games, but I think that was an instruction because, of course, Richarlison's going to look to get in behind. But other than that, great from Zinchenko. Partey, 8 out of 10. Scored a brilliant goal. Actually, I'm going to give him 8.5 out of 10. Scored a brilliant goal. Came off after 17 minutes. Hopefully not with an injury, just a kind of precaution type thing to take him off. Brilliant goal, as I said. A brilliant shield to that defence. No problem whatsoever. Lost it a bit in the last 15 minutes. He was nowhere to be found, so I can't give him like the same as Saliba and Xhaka, but decent nonetheless. Xhaka, 9.5 out of 10 as well. Scored a goal. Always a presence. Up for the battle. Brilliant from Xhaka. If he can just replicate that for a whole season, he literally is... He would be one of the best centre-mids in this Premier League. And we've all seen it with Xhaka, and it's finally come to light because we knew in his Switzerland days he can perform. There's no doubt about his quality whatsoever. Just for one reason or another, I don't know whether it was his head weren't quite there, the system didn't suit him. He never seemed to replicate for Arsenal until this season. So credit to him for getting up and on with it. Credit to Arteta and the rest of the team for believing in him and giving him the license to do what he does best. Moving up the pitch, Ødegaard. Very quiet game in my opinion for Ødegaard. I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. Wasn't his greatest game. Didn't really have his impacts I've seen him have before, like mixing up the ball, getting involved with it. But he still was on the ball doing stuff, but just not his clinical passes and through balls that we've seen him do in other games. But this is why you have a great squad. Because if one player doesn't play well, the rest of the team capitalise and perform. Saka also, 8 out of 10. For me, Saka didn't have the greatest game in the world. I'm being 100% honest with it. But when we need him to perform some magic, he did. Got into the box, twinkle toes, took a shot, spilled by Lloris. That's what we get the goal from. If he doesn't take that shot, we don't make it 2-1, and it could be a very different match reaction from myself. So that's great from Saka, not afraid to take people on. And they always double teamed him. And sometimes, look, a lot of teams are going to double team Bukayo Saka when he gets the ball on the wings. And if that's the case, he needs to be intelligent, let his ego to the side and say, I'm going to pass the ball then and give us opportunity. Because that's how we got the Partey goal. Saka was double teamed on the wing. He didn't think, right, I'm going to do something special because I'm Bukayo Saka. He said, you know what? If I'm double teamed, there's a space open in the rest of the pitch. Let me give it to Ben White, the open man. One more over to Partey, and there we go. That's how we score our first goal. I like intelligent footballers like that know their ability, but also know when to pass the ball and get the team involved. And that's great from Bukayo Saka there. On the other side, Gabriel Martinelli. He had Emerson on him, and he knew from minute one, this was going to be a cook-off. He was going to absolutely burn Emerson Royale differently. Every time I got the ball, he chased that brother. He went after him, man. Literally penetrating him, just straight at him. He knew Emerson was no match for Martinelli whatsoever, and he kept attacking him. Brilliant performance from Martinelli. 9 out of 10, absolutely just a hound the whole football match. And Gabriel Jesus up front, I'm also going to give him a 9 out of 10. Scored his goal, was there. He had a beautiful chance in the first half where he just danced past two players and just about his shot didn't quite go in, saved by Lloris, but he was brilliant as well today. Unbelievable. In terms of subs, they didn't really have much time to do anything, to be honest. Lokonga came on, done his job, 7 out of 10. Same with Tierney, had a shot that was a great shot, but wasn't really testing Lloris really. So 7 out of 10. And the rest of the subs didn't really have much time to do anything, to be honest. Overall though, this ain't about the subs, this ain't about individual players. This is about a brilliant team performance and a brilliant team Arsenal, who go back to the top of the Premier League. Over 20% of the season's gone now, and we're still at the top. We're looking very, very good, and I'm delighted with how this team played. I'm going to enjoy this one. Arsenal beat Tottenham. Going to send a message to all my Tottenham mates now saying that we did the job. These are nothing, and it's well deserved. It's a victory for Arsenal, and it's a victory for football, because a team that plays positive football, expansive football, entertaining football gets the result over the toxic team that just sits back, defends and counterattacks. As always, if you enjoyed this match reaction, make sure you subscribe down below on my road to 1,000 subscribers. I've been Wonderful. When if you love Arsenal, this is a place for you for match reactions. I'll catch you lot in the next video.